Hello everyone, I am Anil on behalf of E.Academy. I welcome you once again for my 30 days division class of CIB. So we have already started our BFM class and we have arrived at unit 2, that is called Basics of Forex Derivative. So derivatives are nothing but they are derived from their main components, and components may be equity or whatever may be there. So uh, there is always, what is the need of that derivative? So derivative are the instrument for to the exposure for neutralize or alter to the acceptable level. What is the need of the derivative? So need of the derivative is only to neutralize the loss effect, or you can say to neutralize the risk effect. And for example, or here forward contracts are there, options are there, swaps are there, forward rate agreements are there, and futures are also there. So because there is always risk associated with the forex, thereby these derivatives are very important. And what is the risk? Risk can be defined as unplanned event with financial consequences resulting in loss or reduced earning is called risk. Some of the very common risks we have already studied, but related to forex operation, we can see exchange risk is there, settlement risk is there. One more risk is settlement risk is also called Herstat risk. It is the name has been given Herstat risk when the Bankhaus Herstat this banking company of Germany totally failed due to the settlement risk. And after that, liquidity risk is there, country risk is there, sovereign risk is there, interest rate risk is there, operation risk is there, and we'll study one by one in the later cases. So movement in exchange rate may result in loss for the dealer's open position. Okay, if a dealer is holding the some currency, so exchange rate may also result in loss. In case of excess of asset over liability, here we are studying that some terminology, so we're using because you have to understand this properly. Otherwise, some problem will be there in understanding. Okay, in case of excess of asset over the liability, the dealer will have long position. Okay, so excess of asset over liability. If asset is more as compared to liability, that is called dealer is in the long position. Now we'll see some of the important risk, like country risk is a dynamic risk and can be controlled by fixing country limit. There is a lot of confusion is there. What is country risk and what is the sovereign risk? Okay, so country risk is that when customer is inside the country, he is willing to pay, but due to some restrictions, maybe local or something political conditions, so he's not able to pay. But sovereign is the like whole country is involved. So whole country is involved. In that case, we call it a sovereign risk. Like you can see present situation in Afghanistan. So if you are doing some business in Afghanistan, you will not be able to get your money back. That is the best example of sovereign risk. And coming to operation risk, many times we have discussed operation risk. Operation risk can be controlled by putting in place a state of art system and specified contingency. Okay, so RBI has issued many internal control guidelines for foreign exchange business. And in this, various dealing limit has been set. So limit are there. That means it's not that everybody can have any amount of foreign exchange and he's doing the business. So the whole that limit has been set by the RBI, and we'll going to see this. So starting with the number one is the overnight limit, maximum amount of open position or exposure. That means a maximum amount of foreign currency held by a dealer is called the overnight limit. Okay, a bank can keep overnight when market in its time zone are closed. Like India, if it is a market is closed, so that is called the overnight limit. Daylight limit, when maximum amount of open position or exposure, bank can expose itself at any time during the day to meet customers' need or for this trading operation. So there's difference between overnight and daylight. So daylight is during daytime, and overnight when the market is closed, whatever foreign currency you are keeping with you, that is called overnight limit. Gap limit, maximum inter-period month exposure. This is for the case of for a period or month. Okay, this is exposure during the period or month which a bank can keep are called gap limits. This is very important point here. So what is gap limit? Maximum interperiod or month exposure which a bank can keep is called gap limit. Okay. Counterparty limit, maximum amount that bank can keep expose itself to a particular counterparty. It's called counterparty. Okay. And there is also one called country limit. So country limit is the maximum exposure to a single country. Okay, how much you can trade with the single country. Okay, dealer limit, maximum amount of a dealer can keep exposure during the operating hours. That means per dealer is also limit is there. How much limit you can keep during the operation hours. Then stop loss limit, maximum movement of rate against the position held so as to trigger the limit, or say maximum loss limit for adverse movement of the rates. So stop limit is, it is just the rate. It is the rate is different from the currency. So rate, I'll just give one example. Let us suppose that at present today rate, the USD rate is going here. I'll just put the hypothetical value 68.20. Okay, so these are trading here and 30, and I'm buying and selling. Okay, I'll put the stop loss if rate is going down. Let us suppose that, okay, if rate is going down 67.20, mean the stop loss limit. If these rates are going up to the, automatically my currency will be sold, so that the further loss is reduced. In case further currency is going down, so our loss will be reduced. So this is called stop loss limit. So stop loss limit is nothing but it is a rate against the position held so as to trigger the limit. Okay, so basically it is the interest rate which avoid further loss in adverse movement of the rates. Next is called settlement loss limit. So maximum amount of exposure to any entity maturing on a single day. So to a particular entity, how much exposure we can keep for a particular day is related to one entity. Deal size limit, highest amount for which a deal can be entered. Okay, let us suppose that one authorized dealer, he want to enter, okay, $1,000 dollar. So limit is serving, that means maximum he can do the amount of deal in a day. Deal size means deal size. So he can, one deal he can do 1,000, below he can do, okay, $800 he want to do 700, but he cannot actually, he cannot do deal, one deal he cannot do $1,200 like this. So limit has been set to restrict the operation risk on large deal. So that means if something loss is happening, so there should not be a big loss to that dealer. So just I will revise here. So out of this limit, all are exposure except the one limit that is called stop loss limit. Stop loss limit is the rate against position held. That means this is the rate, and other are all are exposure. And you can see, I just show you here, overnight limit, daylight limit, and a gap limit, counterparty limit, country limit, and all are exposure in the form of foreign currency, whereas whereas stop limits is the rate of interest, है ना, below which if it is the rate of currency is going down, then the automatically the currency will be sold so that the further loss is stopped. It's called the stop loss limit. The stop loss word is also used in the case of equity trading, where the equity trading is going on, something share we set the limit, now below the share is going down, then the stop loss is there, automatically share will be sold. Okay, so moving ahead now, a very good corporation, Clearing Corporation of India, CCIL, role of CCIL, takes over the settlement risk. So CCIL, for which it creates large pool of resources called Settlement Guarantee Fund. So CCIL guarantee the Settlement Guarantee Fund, which is used to cover the outstanding of any participant. The Clearing Corporation of India was set up in April 2001 for providing exclusive clearance and settlement for transaction in money, government securities, and foreign exchanges. So CCIL is involved in settlement process. And after that, many system has come, like NDS, negotiated dealing system, settlement of forex transaction, and settlement of cross currency deal through CLS Bank. Okay, now here continuing about CCIL, here are 6 core promoters of CCIL. 6 core promoters. So number 1, starting with the very big bank of our countries, SBI, Industrial Development Bank of India, this is called IDBI, ICICI, LIC, Bank of Baroda, and HDFC. So these are the 6 core promoters of CCIL. Okay, so in case of PSU, you can say State Bank of India here, Bank of Baroda here, and LIC is also PSU, HDFC, ICICI, IDBI. 6 players are here. Okay, now again derivative I'll just go through. So a derivative is nothing but a security whose price is dependent upon or derived from one or more underlying assets. The derivative itself is merely a contract between 2 or more parties. Okay, its value is determined by fluctuation in underlying assets. If the value of the underlying asset is changing, automatically the value of derivative will change. Okay, and asset include stock, from where the derivatives are derived. These are derived from stock, bond, commodities, currencies, interest rate, and market indexes. Most derivatives are characterized by high leverage. Okay, that means now how derivatives are there? That means there is always a pool is created out of this. Okay, a pool is created, or you can say basket is created by putting all these things. Stock is put at the one basket. In a stock, maybe some different stocks are there. Bonds are there, some different bonds are there. Commodities are there, some different commodities. Currencies are there, some different. Interest rate and market indices are there. So you can create a basket and you can make one derivative. Like you can see one fruit basket has been designed putting different fruits, and the rate of that basket is derived from the rate of the fruits only. Okay, if rate of fruits is changing, the rate of that basket will change automatically. Okay, and who was the first stock exchange? So Chicago Mercantile Exchange was the first who introduced the derivative that is called currency future contract. Okay, was the first exchange who introduced this currency future contract. So Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Now we'll move at our next chapter, that is called Unit 3. And name of Unit 3 is Corresponding Banking and NRI Account. Accounts will see NRI account also. So corresponding banking is nothing but it's a relationship between 2 banks who have mutual account with each other, one of them having account with other. like SBI may be having account with Hong Kong bank, है ना, or China bank, or है ना USA bank, so they become the corresponding bank. That means if SBI is having China account with the China bank, or in some city of the China, so whatever the work of SBI in China, that will be looked after by this China bank. Okay, and vice versa. So we can see what are the function of corresponding banking, because sometimes what happens is not possible to open the branch in some other cities, because that much business will not be there. So they carry out the work of each other. So it becomes easy also, because their local conditions are there. So this will be very helpful for each other. So I'll see what are the main functions of this corresponding banking. So starting with the account services. So in account services, we can see clearing house function, collection and payment, overdraft loan facilities there, investment services there, other services means in other services, letter of credit advising is there, for foreign trade, letter of credit confirmation may be carried out by each other, and banker acceptance is there, and issue of guarantee may be there, bid bond performance there, foreign exchange services may be there, and including derivative products and custodial services may be there. So many functions are there. So all this be carried out by each other. Now in corresponding, we will see which type of accounts are maintained. So foreign account maintained by banks which each other bank is classified as Nostro, Vostro and Loro. Nostro, Vostro and Loro. Now we'll see one by one. Nostro means our account with you. Nostro means our account with you. If SBI is having its account with Hong Kong bank, if SBI is having account with Hong Kong bank, that means so SBI will say it's my Nostro account, because SBI is having, and in that country's currency account. Okay, so SBI will be having its account in Hong Kong bank in their currency account. Okay, then this becomes the Nostro for the SBI. Vostro, your account with us. When Hong Kong bank is maintaining account with SBI, let's say SBI Mumbai branch, so they'll be maintaining in rupees, because our currency is rupees. So SBI will say, okay, your Vostro account. SBI will say, because your account with us. Similarly, Nostro and Vostro, same Nostro account, when SBI is maintaining with the Hong Kong, then that account for same Nostro account for the Hong Kong, it becomes Vostro. So Nostro and Vostro are opposite to each other. I'll explain once again here. Let's say I'll take example SBI in Hong Kong. I'll write once again here. So SBI, and I will write Hong Kong bank. Okay. When SBI is maintaining, it's called Nostro. In the name of SBI, it will be Nostro, because our account with you. But now Hong Kong bank is referring SBI account, your account with us. So for that Nostro, Hong Kong bank will become Vostro, and vice versa. So this is the difference between Vostro and Nostro. Vostro and Nostro, or Nostro and Vostro. Okay, they look same. Now moving ahead, Loro account. So Loro account is nothing but third party account. It refers to other bank account. Like one more bank is there, Federal Bank is there, Federal Bank is there. So when Federal Bank is maintaining its account with China Bank, okay, then SBI will say, okay, Federal is your Loro account, the account of Federal with China, means third party. So both are having their account, or China Bank may have the account with the Federal. So this is called, in the eyes of SBI, it will be Loro, because SBI is not involved here, but they were referring the other bank's account. So they will say, okay, Loro account. Similarly, example has been given, City bank here refer here. Okay, mirror account. So mirror account is nothing but it is related to Nostro account. It is related to Nostro account. When a bank maintains Nostro account with a foreign bank, so what they do, they are maintaining because records are maintained by the foreign bank in their currencies. So what this bank they do, they maintain one mirror image of that account in their bank. Okay, so that reconciliation can be done time to time. Okay, so I'll just see here, while a bank maintains a Nostro account with the foreign bank, mostly in foreign currencies, it has to keep an account with the same in its bank. Mirror account is maintained in two currencies, means one the foreign currency, one the home currency. They maintain the mirror account in their bank account, and they maintain in two currencies, foreign currencies and home currency, so that reconciliation can be done very easily. Now we'll see, nowadays we are referring to transfer of money by electronic mode. Government is also referring that we should do always. Many gadgets are coming, many softwares are coming. So we'll study how this transmission are taking place. So electronic mode of transmission. We study here electronic mode of transmission, payment gateways, SWIFT, CHIPS, CHAPS, RTGS, and NEFT. So what is the full form of SWIFT? Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. This form is very important. Okay, you can remember this, you can reiterate this, you can Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication is the full form of SWIFT. Okay, so SWIFT was introduced with the help of member countries, and presently 200 countries are the member of this SWIFT. So SWIFT, this is a cooperative society owned by member banks and financial institutions, providing secure telecommunication and one-point contact with more than 11,000 financial institutions. So this is a very big system. It is enabling that transmission, but it is transmission in the form of messaging. Okay, and use of relationship management application. Okay, RMA. This is important. So SWIFT is being used with the help of relationship management application, and it is using one code that's called BIC, Bank Identification Code. And SWIFT has three core values, that is called excellence, community, and innovations. I'll repeat once again here. SWIFT has three values. ECI, you can remember, excellence, community, and innovations. So now moving ahead, two more very important, CHIPS and CHAPS. CHIPS, CHAPS. So CHIP, Clearing House Interbank Payment System. You can remember this full form also. Clearing House Interbank Payment System is a major payment system in USA since 1970. Okay, it is established by New York Clearing House, so it is basically functioning in New York only. Okay, basically it is. It was started in New York, USA, but it is basically functioning in New York. So present member is 48. Okay, present member is only 48. Now we'll see the CHAPS also. We'll see CHAPS also. What is the name of the CHAPS? Clearing House Automatic Payment System. There was Clearing House. Let's see here once again. Clearing House Interbank. So what is the difference? Clearing House Interbank and Clearing House Automatic Payment System. This is the only difference between them. Is the British. So CHIPS was for USA, and this is only for the British. Equipment to CHIPS handling receipt and payment in London. So that was in New York and is in London. Next come before the Fedwire. So Fedwire is also payment system. Federal Reserve Bank operated all over the US since 1918, used for domestic payment. Okay. All US bank maintain account with the Federal. So all US bank maintain account with Federal Reserve Bank and are allotted an ABA number. So all Bank of USA, they are maintaining ABA number to identify sender and receiver of the payment. So what is the meaning of ABA number? It is a unique number assigned to the American Banker Association that identifies a specific federal or state chartered bank or saving institution in order to qualify for an ABA transit number. Okay, the financial institution must be eligible to hold account at a Federal Reserve Bank. Then only they will get the ABA number. ABA number means American Bankers Association. Correct? So ABA transit number, they will get. ABA transit number are also known as ABA routing numbers. So ABA transit number is also known as ABA routing number and are used to identify which bank will facilitate the payment of the check. So ABA number is a unique number given by the American Banker Association when they qualify to open the account with the Federal Reserve Bank. Now comes very important system. This is called target. The full form of target is Trans-European. T stand for Trans-European Automated Real-Time Gross Settlement. This is the RTGS. This is RTGS. India is for having the RTGS. So you can remember like this. Okay. So Trans-European Automated RTGS Express Transfer. ET stand for Express Transfer System is Euro payment system working in Europe only. And facilitate funds transfer in Eurozone. That is for the Eurozone. If it is asked what is the payment system, you can say target. Okay. And one more is there that is regarding German based. So RTGS plus and EBA. Okay, RTGS plus and EBA. So RTGS plus is nothing. RTGS plus and Euro-German based. Euro-German means Euro-German based hybrid is called RTGS and EBA. And one more is there. EBA Euro 1 is a cross-border Euro payment system. Cross-border means outside of their Europe. So these were the other countries means international payment system. In India, we are having two types of system that is called RTGS and NEFT. RTGS system managed by who manage this guidelines is being issued by RBI, but who manage one company is there that is called Institute for Development and Research in Banking Technology. You can remember this IDRBT. Institute for Development and Research. Institute for Development and Research in Banking Technology. This Hyderabad company is there. So it maintains the RTGS. Okay. So and we know everything about the RTGS. More than 20 lakh we go for the RTGS and NEFT no limit. Okay, start from 0 up to no limit. And for RTGS is 24 hours is there. It is gross settlement and NEFT batches are there. NEFT has 24 batches starting from 0030 hours and it will go up to night. So totally there are 24 batches. Now starting with the NRI. After that we'll see how many accounts there are, what types of account NRI can maintain in India. So just have a brief glance. NRI defines as per FEMA. FEMA 1990, a person resident outside India who is citizen of India. Means who residing in India but who residing outside of India but who is citizen of India is called NRI. Okay. And for NRI purpose, he must stay outside of India more than 182 days. More than 182 means starting from 183. Okay, so he will must stay outside India more than 182 days. Okay, Indian citizen. Now I will be seeing one by one. Indian citizen who proceed abroad for employment or carrying on any business or vocation or for further any purpose in circumstances indicating indefinite period of stay outside India is called NRI. Indian citizen working abroad on assignment with foreign government agencies or international MNCs. They are also called NRI. Okay. Next, officials of central or state government, public sector undertaking, deputed abroad on assignment with foreign government agencies, organizations posted to their own office, including Indian diplomatic mission abroad. They are called NRI. So, NRI is a person of Indian nationality or origin who resides abroad for business or vacation or employment or intention of employment. Period of abroad is indefinite, and person of Indian origin who has held Indian passport. His parents, grandparents are also citizens of India. So it limit is up to their grandparents. If grandparents are the citizen of India, so their uh, grandchildren will be considered as NRI. Okay. Now talking about the PIO, person of Indian origin. So a spouse who is a foreign citizen of an Indian citizen, spouse is of Indian citizen, or PIO is treated as PIO for the purpose of opening bank account and other facilities granted for investment in India, provided such account or investment are in the joint name of the spouse. Keep in mind, this is very, very important. Okay, a spouse will get the status of PIO, but if she or he wants to open the account, that must be joint name of the spouse. Okay, now dealing with the NRI account. So starting with the NRE. NRE is a rupee account. NRE is the rupee account. NRE non, we'll see one by one. So there's no confusion. Non-resident external NRE rupee account means rupee is there. Okay. NRO rupee account opened in rupee only. Okay, next we'll discuss detail also. Okay, foreign currency non-resident account bank, short form is FCNRB. When resident become NRI, he or she domestic rupee account has to be redesignated to NRO account. Okay, if somebody has gone to abroad, so his normal saving account may be converted to NRO account. Now we'll discuss one by one. We'll see the difference. What the difference is there in all these types of accounts. We'll see. Even chart I have prepared. Okay, you can see here difference, and we'll discuss one by one so that it's very clear. Okay, basis of difference. We'll see one by one. NRE account. First, we have written NRE, NRO, and FCNR. Okay. NRE account is for depositing income earned outside India in India foreign currency. Okay, we'll see first NRO. NRO is the basic account. NRO is the basic account. NRO account is for depositing income that one earn in India, Indian rupee. Clear? NRO is account is for the NRI, but NRO account is for depositing income that one earn in India, Indian rupee. Okay, NRE account is for depositing income earned outside India, foreign currency. Okay, FCNR account is for depositing earning in foreign currency in Indian account. The foreign currency, this is actually fixed deposit. Okay, FCNR is fixed deposit account, so and is totally different from the other account. Correct? Okay, now see next difference we'll see withdrawal. So withdrawal is Indian rupee. That's why it's called rupee. FCNR, NRO rupee, NRA rupee. So withdrawal is Indian rupee. Here he can deposit because he's earning from the foreign, so he'll be depositing foreign currency. Here earning in Indian rupees, so he'll be depositing Indian rupees, but withdrawal is Indian rupee. But here foreign currency. Okay. One more taxability. NRO account 30% tax. My God, very huge amount. Okay, so people prefer non-taxable means NRE account. Non-taxable, FCNR also non-taxable. Okay. Now risk factor, see. NRE account has risk factor because they are depositing in foreign currency, but withdrawal is Indian rupee. So they have risk factor, foreign exchange risk factor due to currency fluctuation. Here no foreign exchange because rupee. Here no foreign because foreign currency. Now see the repatriability means you can transfer amount to abroad or not. So now see NRO. This is NRO, no? So NRO. This is NRO. And this is NRE. And this is FCNR. Okay. Now deposit. We'll see NRO first. Deposit made in this account are repatriable to NRI's country resident with certain limit. Okay. Now NRE deposit and interest on this are fully repatriable. Okay. Here also fully. NRE and FCNR are fully repatriable, where the NRO account is not fully repatriable. There means restrictions are there. Okay. Now joint account permitted. Okay. Joint account with NRI permitted. Joint account with Indian resident permitted. Here permitted. Here now they have been permitted, but restriction is there. It will be joint and first. All may have joint and first. Okay. Now we'll see the next types of account. So types of account means I told you this is only the FCNR is only the fixed deposit, term deposit only, and in NRO and NRE all type of account can be opened. Current account you can open. Saving account can be a second account you can open. RD you want to open, RD you can open. FD you want to open, FD you want to open. All accounts you can open in NRE and NRO. Okay, but in FCNRB only you can open term deposit. Okay, loan can be given Indian rupee. Loan can be given foreign currency because withdrawal is in foreign currency. So foreign currency loan can be given. Okay, so these were the NRE's account we discussed here. So one more point I want to make clear for FCNR B account, because FCNR is fixed deposit, term deposit. So in FCNR account, the interest on deposit shall be paid on the basis of 360 days to a year. That means interest is paid only for the 360 days, not 365 or 360. And it is cumulative basis on half yearly interval. So half yearly interval means 180 days and 180 days. So if you want to calculate the interest rate, we have to take only 180 days. The half yearlies are 2 half yearlies means 180 days and 180 days. So cumulative basis. Okay, and whatever interest is earned in the FCNR, that's what we already told, it is exempted from tax. So with this, we'll finish our class. So next class we start very soon. Please stay tuned with me. I'll be covering BFM within time, and you can refer to your friend, and you can also subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Enjoy. Have a nice day. Thank you.